Hi everyone, Linda here again with you from Gunlet Lane Jewellery. This week we're doing an earring. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I've got a few little examples here in front of me to show you. This is we're not making this one, but I just wanted to give you an idea of a design. This is a more of a hoopy hoop earring, as I call it. So that's, one option that you can do with what I'm going to show you in the tutorial to do. So it's just a matter of changing your frame. This one here is one design here. This just has lots of little beads down the bottom. But with this one, if you like that idea, because you've got the gap in the middle here, you could pop in, a drop if you wanted to put a drop like that. Something a bit smaller and a bit more sparkly. It's this beautiful crystal here. So just to give you an idea for that one, if you wanted to do a design like that. This one is the one that we're making today with the lapis lazuli coloured beads. And then this is another one with just using, I forgot what the amethyst beads here. So this no, that's not the one we're making this one today. So if you'd like to learn how to make this design and then change it up for your own, just stay with me. I'll get all my supplies together and we'll get going. Okay, let's get this earring tutorial started. I've cut myself a piece of 18 gauge wire that measures 8 centimeters, which is 3 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to give that a flush cut on the end there. Just a tiny little bit. You don't need to take off much. There. And I'm going to grab my rubber mallet, and I'm just going to use this as a mandrel. So I'm just going to roughly find what I think is the center there and just bring my wire up and around to get that shape. And I was way off on my center there. Doesn't matter, we can bring it around and fix it up. There we go. Looks about right. Just make sure you push it into your mandrel so you get that nice rounded bottom on your wire. Excuse me. Okay, bring that in. Looks about right to me. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to grab my 6-step pliers, and I'm using the really small mandrel on this. You can use your round nose pliers. Just go close to the tip of your pliers, and we're just going to make a loop. I'm making an earring tutorial this week because even though I did a link tutorial, which last week, which usually do well, that one bombed really badly, and I'm just beside myself as to what I need to do. I don't know whether it's people don't like what I do or whether it's the YouTube algorithm. I have no clue, and I don't know where to even begin to find out why my tutorials just don't do well. I just don't get it. So I'm turning a loop on both sides. I know you can help me out by making sure you like and comment. That always helps the algorithm. And also to sharing, if you have your own Facebook group or, I don't mean a beaded community group, you like your own private Facebook, if you'd like to share my videos there, maybe that might help me out. Anyway, okay, we've got that, those turned over there now. I'm going to bring in my little mandrel here because I'm trying to get the same shape as this one here, and that's just a little bit not quite right. So I'm going to come down to I've marked mine here just so I don't have to look and count down. So I've just numbered them down to 12. I'm going to come in on number 9 there. And I'm just going to bring that around and just shape that in a little bit more at the top, just to give me a bit more of that horseshoe shape, like that. So it's just a bit nicer shape. Then I'm going to grab my rubber mallet again and my block, and we're going to give these a hammer so that it stays in shape when we're wrapping our beads. If I can hold this with these silly nails of mine. So I'm going to give that a good hammer. Now I might just pop it back on my hand drill again for a second, just to make sure, because hammering you know, expands it. So I just want to bring it in a little bit more, just giving a little tweak there. Okay, we can put these away. Okay, so we've got this going. I'm going to grab my flat nose pliers and just straighten these guys up, just like that. You can come back and play with those a bit later, so just get them roughly where you want them. Then I'm going to grab some 24 gauge wire. And you need a fairly long piece, but it doesn't have to be hugely long. So I'll just see what I think, and then I'll measure what I've got here. You could do this with a 26 gauge if you want a more, what's the word I'm looking for? To me, this is a not bulkier, chunkier. What's the word? Oh goodness, gosh, I hate that one. I can't think of words. I'm thinking of a 26 gauge, and I'm thinking more refined, but that's not really the word that I want. I can't think of it. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. Anyway, measuring this, I've got about 44 centimeters, which is just over 17 inches. So yeah, just guesstimate. So we're going to start wrapping this now. I'm going to come in from underneath. Leave a tail of about that long there, and this is just in case we need it at the end. So you just need enough that you've got a little bit of wire to play with. So come in around and get your first one or two wraps on there. Now these don't have to be really neat at the moment. We can fix those up. All right, push them up to the top. I'm just using my fingernails to do that. And then get this wire, our little tail, out of the way. Then I'm going to grab my flat nose pliers to hold on to this. I'm going to grab onto those first couple of coils there. And the only reason I'm doing this is because it really hurts your fingers to keep holding on to that piece there. So I've just found this easier to do this rather than my fingers hurting and cramping up. Now I'm going to wrap. I've got 2 wraps there to start with, so I'm going to do 20 in total. So 2, 3, and just do this slowly so you get nice neat wraps. Oh, I only spilt my beads everywhere then. My wire got caught on my little tray. So that's 3. I'm not going to make you watch me do all of this. I'm just showing you to start off. You might have to adjust your pliers. I'm going to come in and straighten those up before I get too far down, because they're not very neat. Come on, Linda, get that. There you go. And push it back up to the top. You could also try holding this. I've fiddled around with this a little bit, trying to find the best way to hold it. Get up there. To hold on to it. Hold it that way. And come in underneath. So you're working on the back of your earring here at the moment. So you can do it this way as well. And here I am telling you to be neat and mine aren't. Okay. Got hold of those. It just, it's only fiddly in the beginning. Once you get going, you'll be fine. It's 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'll come back when I've done my 20 wraps, and we'll continue on from there. See you soon. Okay, so I'm back with you. I've done my 20 wraps here, and I've got myself some 8/0 seed beads, and this colour I call the, what's it called? The, oh, it'll come to me. Oh, goodness. I don't know. My brain's not always great, but it's worse today for some reason. So I'm going to pick up 3 of these. Lapis lazuli. There you go. I knew it had come to me. I call this the lapis lazuli colour anyway. That's what it reminds me of. Just move those out of the way so I don't flick them everywhere. So I've got 3 of them on my wire. Now I know you've probably seen videos similar to this one. Maybe not exactly the same design. I don't think so because it came in my brain. Maybe I have seen it somewhere along the line. I don't know, but I'm calling it my design anyway. But it's more technique driven. It's easy just to look at a picture and say, oh, you just wrap beads around a piece of wire. Yeah, but you can see that it's not that easy when you go to do it yourself. So I've got these 3 on here. The wire's coming from the front. So we're going to just sort of stretch them out a little bit over the wire like that. Bring the wire in behind your frame. Get those sitting up there. Hold them with your finger if you can. And then grab this wire and using your finger, or, well, you have to use your finger. Just push the wire back, like coming back this way here. Just a little bit like that, and you'll get a nicer arch if you pull it back. See how they're sitting up like that? And then bring your wire up and around, nice and tight. Then you can play with these. You can fiddle around with them once you get, like, I'm just going to squash them up a little bit like that. Just be careful you don't break them. And if it's not perfect, just push this wire back a bit. And of course mine's not doing what I want it to do because I'm on camera. Gosh, I made so many of these yesterday and I didn't have this problem at all, but here we go. I'll try and see if I can. I'm just pushing that with my fingernail. Okay, that's sitting pretty good. So you want it sort of sitting underneath this last bead is where your first wrap is. So I'm going to wrap this 3 times. Again, keeping your wraps neat. Like that. So you're coming up in the front again. We're picking up 3 more of our beads. And we're going to do the same thing. Sort of push them up back a little bit like this so that they're sitting exactly there. Pull them down so they're sitting across the wire like that. Then push this. Oh, I'm not coming from behind. You've got to go behind. Oh, Linda. There. We're from behind. Got a nice arch there. Just pulling that back a little bit more. And then bringing it up and over. So do that first wrap. Then make sure your beads are seated the way that you want them to be. push that wire back a bit if you need to get it to arch like that. So you want it to sort of look staggered like that. But you can play around with them at the end, get them sitting a little bit, you know, the more the way that you want them to look. So 3 wraps. Nice neat wraps around. You might find the 24 gauge wire a little bit harder to work with than 26 gauge, but it gives it a more substantial, that's the word I was looking for before, a more substantial look. If you wanted to, a more refined look, that's probably a good word that I was trying to, that I said I used before, but yeah, that's the only word I can think of. Yeah, then use maybe 26 gauge. Just have a play and see what you think, what you like, you know. I like a bit more substantial jewellery than, you know, the more feminine, fine-looking stuff. That's not my go. Okay, so we've got those sitting up on top of the wire like that. So yeah, I know that they're down as far as they can go. And then I'm just going to bring that over almost into a straight line. Bring my wire around. And then just make sure, push those beads back and bring it back, the wire back this way. So it's sort of underneath that bead, the last bead there, and then bring it up and over. And you'll get a nice little arch. That one's a good one. That one's not so great there. But when we're done, we can push them back and fix them up. So I'll go on and finish these last lot that I got to put on here, and then I'll come back when we're ready to wrap the rest of that, and then we'll do all our adjustments. So see you soon. Okay, so I've got the last one done here. Now, because I've got 5 lots of beads here, you want your middle one to be sitting, you know, center in your earring. So if it's not, you can just push your grab a pair of pliers is the easiest way here. Hold on to your little loop. I can't seem to get hold of it. And just push your wire around a little bit like that, and then check and see. A little bit more. There, that's dead center to me. And this is why we left this little bit of extra wire up here. So if we needed to make some more wraps up at the top to bring it up, you know, up to there. So that's why just make sure you leave just enough that you can do a few more wraps. And if you don't need it, then fine, you can just cut it off and you've only wasted a tiny little bit of wire. But just to get that middle one dead center. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to continue wrapping our coils up. Now, I don't necessarily count these ones on this side. It's pointless because we're going to bring it up to here anyway. So, and that's another reason to have this here. If it ends up being a lot different in look because of the amount of coils on this side as opposed to that side, you can adjust it with this here as well. So I'm just going to wrap until I get to the top. Again, just do it slowly. Keep your coils nice and neat. This is not a particularly organic looking design that I normally do, but I have to try something different to see if I can get people to start watching my channel. It's just, as I said before, I don't know what to do. It's very disheartening. This is probably very boring for you to watch. We're just doing these coils. But I will say we're coming to spring now. 1st of September was first day of spring, and it hasn't disappointed us. We've had absolutely gorgeous weather, and it's just getting warmer every day. But having said that, I hope that doesn't mean we're in for a really long, hot summer, because our summers in Australia are very long compared to the Northern Hemisphere, where our winters, even though the months are the same, like you get 3 months of obviously of each season, but like our spring can be more like summertime in the Northern Hemisphere, and then we've got our summer, and then that continues on into autumn as well. So, but yeah, it's just a long, hot summer, and hopefully not too bad this year. All right, that's coming up to where I want it. So we just need to, I'm just going to leave that one there and finish this one off on this side here. As I said, I'm not counting. I just want it to look pretty close in length, you know, each side. Now, if I look at that, that looks pretty even to me, going from there to there and there to there. That looks pretty good. What do you think? I think it's a lovely little earring, actually. It's not something that I would wear, but it's, yeah, I think it's a lovely little earring. All right, so all we need to do now is obviously finish off our wires. Now, if you've come up and your little loop thing is in the way, you can always, to finish it off, if you can't get underneath it, obviously you can just bend it out of the way, bring your wire across, grab your cutters, there they are right in front of me, get in there and snip that little wire, come in and burnish it down. So just twisting it and rolling it. Straighten your little loop back up again, and then do the same thing on the other side. Well, that one's not gonna, I might just wrap that one more time. Yeah. And I think I can reach that one without moving my loop. And then come in and burnish that one down. Just rolling and twisting. That needs to be straightened up a little bit more anyway, and I'm going to close those up as well. And then straighten them this way. And I'm just going to push them in a little bit more. They've sprung out a bit. Okay, now I'm going to grab my 20 gauge, where's that one here? We're going to do our little ear wire. So we're going to give that a flush cut. And I'm going to measure off 3 centimeters is roughly what you need to make one of these little hoop ear wires. Now, I would suggest if you're making these earrings that you do your little, do your frames at the same time. I'm doing one separately, obviously, because I've already pre-made one. But yeah, do them the same time, and you can even do these little ear hook things, ear wire things at the same time as well. And again, I'm using the smallest mandrel on my pliers here, turning a loop. Okay, now I want my loop to be perfectly round, so I'm going to come in and just snip that. Get off there. Get off. I know you're cut. Get off. Ah. And then just close that up again to give it a lovely little round loop like that. And I'm going to grab my pliers, But right in front of me again. Goodness, Linda. I'm going to use the 5th mandrel on my pliers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Make sure I was counting them right then. And I'm just going to leave, it's sort of about halfway along you want it. So you've got, you know, some sticking out this side and some sticking out that side. And we're just going to bend our wire over. Not dramatically, just a nice little arch like that in your wire. So if you've done them both at the same time, they should look the same. Then just grab your hammer and block and give that a nice little hammer to strengthen it. Do it both sides. I've got to go and get my fingernails done. They seem to be growing so fast at the moment. Okay, now I'm just going to open up my loop. Now, checking against my other one, I've got this one. This is my, and my loops, yet. That's my whatever ear that would go in, so that goes this way. So you want to do the other one the opposite way. So, you know, make sure you've got your loops facing the right way. So this one is going to come in from this side here. Now, I know that sounds, what's the word I'm looking for? Obvious, but you wouldn't believe I made a couple of pair and I put them all on the same side. You know, I just obviously wasn't concentrating. So I'm just reminding you, in case you're not concentrating as well, to put them on the opposite side. That way. I think I've got that right now. Yeah. I don't know what it is with mirror reversing's opposites with me. My brain just won't compute it. Okay, so we're going to pop our little ear hook through that hole there. Just have a look and see if you've made it a little bit too long or whatever, whether it needs trimming up. A lot of that is to do with the width of your thing here. So I'm just going to pop that in a little bit more. Have a look at that. Not too bad. Grab the end of my wire here with my pliers. Give it a bend. And then just judge whether you think it needs a little bit more trimming off or whether it doesn't. It needs a little bit more turning up. Just to make sure it's got a bit of a hook on it so it, you know, doesn't come undone easily. And I think that looks pretty good. I might just trim it up a little bit. Just take a smidge off that. There, I think they look pretty similar now. And they're opposite ways. And that's our pair of earrings. I think they're lovely. And I'll just show you, I know I showed you at the beginning, but I'll just show you another of the ones with the little beads in it. What I wanted to point out with this one is I've put mine on this facing this way because I liked the look of that there. It looks lovely from the side as well. But you could also make this the front if you like the look of the wire in the front there. See how this wire comes over? So you just make up your mind. And if you've started making them and you think, no, I like them, prefer them the other way, just turn your loops at the top here around with your pliers to make them the opposite way. So it just really depends. Show you one side or the other. Just depends which side you like the best. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed our tutorial this week. If you did, please give me a like, leave me a comment, and share the video if you wouldn't mind doing that. I'll leave a link down the bottom for our Facebook group. It's a private group, so if you're interested in joining, it's there for members to show their work, what they're making. ask questions if they need help or anything like that. It's a safe group because I don't allow people to sell things to you or whatever in the group. So it's a very safe group. If you're worried about stuff like that, just know that it is a safe group. All right, guys. Well, God, I babble on sometimes. That's all from me from this week. Have a great one. Stay safe and go out there and make something beautiful. Bye.